Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very different kind of version of Confessions of a Gamer Girl. We've been invaded. We've been invaded. Um, the
Sorry.
this is no, you're not. Um, this before we start, I kind of just want to talk a little bit about like why. Why is there a bald man with a microphone on this podcast? Why? Um, essentially, throughout my time in this space over the last 4-ish years, and my work with women in gaming, there's been an increasing amount of men that approach me, and not for the ways you think. They're genuinely interested in what they can do to help women in this space. Combine that with actually the viewership of Confessions of a Gamer Girl, it's 75% men. So, because you're here anyway, um, why not? So this is the beginning of a 4-part series, talking about men's experience in gaming and, more importantly, the lens that they have on women in gaming. Does that make sense?
I think it makes sense.
Okay, cool. This is 8-Bit Elliot. Welcome.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
No, you're so welcome. Um, Elliot, please tell everyone who you are, what you do.
Yeah, so I'm 8-Bit Elliot. I'm just a little guy on the internet. A content creator, Twitch streamer. I make content. I take photos. I just make little ads, and I'm just trying to make it by this world. That's really what I'm trying to do. And just try to have fun while I do it.
Yeah, no, I think, you're very g one thing that I feel from everything that you do, and it's one of the reasons why I approached you to come on here, is that you're very comfortable with that.
Yeah,
You're it's almost
I
like
think I am.
yeah, like, you don't I feel like you're not thinking too much about it, and
Oh,
maybe
there's
it's
no
because
thoughts up here at all. It's all empty.
oh dear, maybe this was a mistake. No, I honestly, like, all of the things that you do, it must come from, your years of experience. I mean, how long have you been doing this?
I think I'm up to. I started streaming sort of like full time ish. I say full time, like part time, full time. Probably at the end of 2017. So we're up to
Wow.
a few years now.
OG. 8
I don't
years.
like thinking about. Yeah, I don't like thinking about that.
Well, I think, it goes to show, your love for it, I suppose. There are lots of people that, start in this space and they kind of fizzle out, and you
Yeah,
kinda never see them again. But,
yeah,
I
no,
guess
it's that's a very real thing. People come and go, and I just really love it because there's so many different avenues of like learning new skills and just
mm,
being able to dive into something new. If one thing gets a little stale, it's like, okay, well, I'll just switch it up and learn something else.
mm. Do you think that comes from your maturity?
I think a little bit, definitely in my early, in my early 20s and stuff like that. I was
Mm,
definitely just like not keen on learning and stuff like that. And then as I've gotten older, I've just been like, you know what, like learning's kind of fun, and this is just a really good avenue for learning new skills. Like they're like and just hyper focusing on like a topic for a while and just being
yeah,
like, okay, cool, I'm gonna learn a little bit about lighting, or I'm gonna learn a little
yeah.
bit about cameras and microphones and stuff like that, and then it all just culminates after 8 years, and then suddenly you just know all this stuff and people want to talk to you on a podcast.
I genuinely love that growth mindset that, learning is a lifetime journey, and for some reason, because I just have this feeling that a lot of younger men in this space, they just don't have that in them. You know what I mean? Is
Mm.
that something that you agree with?
To a point, yeah. Like it's
Yeah.
definitely I think there's a sentiment out there of just like that grind set
Mm,
mentality where it's like if you don't have $1 million by your 30s, like you're a failure and all that sort of stuff. And it's just like
yeah.
no, like I got to like 27 and didn't know what I wanted to, where the trajectory of my life, or like where I wanted to go, like what I was passionate about. I didn't even know until I was 27, and now I've sort of found that passion, and I'm just all in. But it takes like it just took a lot of time and a lot of trial and error. So I think that's where a lot of it
Mm.
comes from. Is like there's all these outside pressures being like you have to be this, you have to be that, and then reality is you don't know what you want to be.
It's such a transformative process, and especially, I mean, even over my last 4 years, I'm certainly nowhere near where I began, but it's just those little steps over time and those little, decisions over time that kind of craft this just amazing evolution through your, content creation, through your gaming, through whatever it is, and then you end up with this, array of skills and passions, and you get to meet so many different people.
Yeah, no, yeah, like honestly, you get to meet so many wonderful people, and like some of like you mentioned before, some of them do come and go, and like
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's really weird when like somebody from like 5 years ago pops up, and then you're just like, oh, like hey, like I hope life is going well for you, and I hope you found your thing, because like streaming just might not be it, right? Like it's not
Yeah.
everyone's thing. Content creation might not be somebody's thing. They might find other passions in life, but like
Mm.
they gave it a go. So like I'm never gonna fault anyone for that.
So I can tell already that you kind of don't really lean into that, it's the thing that I don't know what it's called, but it's the way that males bond by taking the mickey out of one another. I don't know if you know that
Yeah,
name.
yeah, the sort of just like egging each other on, and like,
Self-deprecating.
yeah, self-deprecating, and although don't get me wrong, I
Yeah.
I make a lot of self-deprecating jokes, and
It's one
like
thing to
I'm
do it about
always
yourself.
yeah about myself. I will joke about myself all day
Mm,
long, but I think
yeah.
when you start, for me at least, when you start joking about somebody else, unless you're really comfortable with that person, unless you know that
Mm,
person really well, like I don't like joking about
yeah.
other people who I don't know. Like I don't know their story. I don't know what
Yeah.
makes them tick.
Yeah. So, I suppose we can kind of say that you're taking on the responsibility, I suppose, like subconsciously, th that whenever someone new enters your space, no matter who they are, you're not gonna straight up, start doing that to them. Whereas I have found that because younger generations have been socialized on the internet, and I guess the internet wasn't as popular when we were teenagers.
I mean,
Uh,
I don't know about you, but like I wasn't fully on the internet till I was like a
no,
teenager. And like now
I
it's
mm,
right from birth pretty much. And I was just like, oh, like it wasn't a thing back then.
mm. Yeah, so now you have people who are like, "Oh, that's how I talk to people in a video game.
Hmm.
Oh, I'll do that too."
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess, with the popularity of, I mean, we mentioned this before we started, the popularity of kind of that rage bait content and the impact that it has on the socialization, especially of young males. Do you think that do you think that has a massive impact?
Oh, yeah, there's like eh, it's definitely just really interesting, like because nobody's really been taught how to grow up with the internet and how to have
Mm,
like a healthy relationship. Because I don't think social media or like streaming or content creation, I don't think those are bad things. It's just
mm,
about
mm.
having a healthy relationship with those things, just like
Yeah.
any other like sort of vice out there. And you know, we've got parents now who have grown up a little bit on the internet and like understand like, oh, like no, this isn't good. Like we need to sort of mitigate that behavior a little bit because it's
Mhm.
not sociable. Like it's not good for you as a person to just be like chronically online. And this is coming
Yeah.
from somebody who is chronically online.
Oh,
So like
I
it's
I
it's
yeah,
yeah, you like but
I
like yeah,
know.
it's and then so sort of just that, and because there is that sort of grind set mentality that I mentioned earlier, like you've got all these kids that are looking for like the get rich quick schemes of the internet and all that sort of stuff.
Mhm.
And a lot of that is like tried and tested is rage baiting, like you said, and it's just
Yeah.
like because it's all about those interactions, and it doesn't matter if they're negative, but like as you get older, you're like, or at least I think as you get older, you're like, you know what, it kind of does matter a little bit,
Yeah.
and I think you sort of, I hope people would grow out of that and learn a little bit, but I think we're very much at a stage where it's difficult to parent that
Mm.
that sort of environment because it's new.
Yeah.
Right,
I
like we
mm.
were saying, like we were we didn't have it till we were teenagers,
Yeah.
and like
So we're
now
now the
we're
parents
now
of
teaching
yeah.
we're now teaching how to have a healthy relationship with the internet when we
Yeah.
ourselves might not have a healthy relationship with the internet.
Oh, and I think it's I have children myself and you have young people in your life. I think everyone probably our age has some sort of young people in their life in some sort of capacity where they're, being a role model in some way.
Yeah.
But I think, having those conversations like, "Oh, like my eyes hurt." And, "Oh, why do I say, oh, I think I've been looking at my phone too much," or, something like that. And,
Yeah.
yeah, like we weren't supposed to be this stimulated, I suppose, or this, like you say, chronically online, contactable, seen
Mm.
so much.
Oh
I'm so
god.
glad that all of my outfits from my early teens are not on the internet because,
Have
look,
you seen that
it was
trend
not
where
great.
people are coming up to like teachers with like their old like yearbook photos and being like, "Can you sign this?" That
No, I
that
haven't seen that.
oh, that would mortify me if somebody came up to me with like a picture of me, like teenage Elliot. Like, no, like that.
No, I'm so glad that that is behind me. And yeah, I mean, we spoke again before, like, about, how people don't really look their ages anymore. Meanwhile, we've got, like, 14-year-olds that look, like, so good, like, better than me because they're, like, so good because they watch all these videos on the internet and
Mm.
they can do their makeup perfectly and, all of their outfits are just, on fleek or whatever they say. And it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah. No, I mean that's like the good thing. One of the good things about like the internet, I guess, is just like there
And getting
is just
skills.
all of this resource out there, and people
Yeah.
can find their passion earlier on and stuff like that. And
Mm.
it's like if makeup's their jam, it's like hell yeah, go into that world and learn
Yeah,
more.
definitely. Definitely agree. There's a lot we've been having a lot of agreeing, okay?
I'm
It's
sorry.
time to
Do you
spice it
need
up.
me to be more controversial? Do you want me
No.
to? Do I need to have more
Oh,
hot
we'll get there.
takes?
We'll get there. Um, there's a I went back in the archives of, Eliot and, you can do that,
Oh, I'm
and
so
that's,
sorry. I'm so sorry that you had to do that.
No, no, it was good.
You're not going to pull
It
up a
was good.
picture of me as a teenager, are you?
No, actually, no, I don't. Um No, I wanted to talk a little bit about a tweet that you put up in 2022, and it was
Oh
a
God.
screenshot of a DM. Um, Now I've mentioned before that you're so secure in yourself. You're just
Mm.
so great. You're a fantastic role model for the mass people in our community, right? So just wanted to talk a little bit about this. So
I don't even
you're
know what
married.
I tweet a lot. I am
Like,
married.
no, we'll
Yes.
just we'll just start with the fact that you're
Yeah.
married to
I'm
a
married.
woman.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
I assume? Yes.
Yes. Yes.
I think I saw a photo, but things could change, you never know. Uh, so, Elliot, I've been a fan for a long time, and I just saw a part of your stream today where you discussed being bi.
Mm.
I knew you were an ally, but wasn't aware you were in the community. Thank you for being a queer voice. I appreciate what you do, and I've had a huge crush on you for so long. It's nice to know that there's some kind of chance now. I joke, kinda.
I
It's not
remember this
often
tweet. Yeah. I
it's
remember
look,
that one. That. Yeah. Okay.
huge. Huge. Now you replied in a very eloquent way, um, and you put that boundary right there, slammed it right there and said, "Just to be clear, I'm getting married later this year, and my coming out as bi doesn't mean you have a chance. Messages like this are inappropriate, and you should not confess your love for streamers. Uh, okay, first of all, how did that make you feel?
Well, so that wasn't the first time I've had that sort of
Okay.
interaction. It just unfortunately it kind of just comes with the space where you're putting yourself out there almost on a daily basis.
Mm,
And you're entering people's lives. Like you're a part of people's lives as sort of as a streamer. And there's that what is it, the parasocial uh,
parasocial relationships.
parasocial relationships. And there's good parasocial relationships and there's bad parasocial
Okay.
relationships. um
I always see them
and
as
so
bad,
I
but
that those are the ones that get the most traction. But
yeah,
like
true.
genuinely, if you've made friends in this space, a lot of those
Yeah.
have started as parasocial interactions where you've watched their stream and they have no idea who you are, but you're learning all this information about them. It's a very one-sided sort
Mm,
of
okay.
situation. um and so that's where it comes from. It's like they only see a part of me. They don't see the the full Elliot. They don't
Of course.
know. They
You're
don't
in
know.
control of what they see,
Yeah,
and
exactly,
that's a very
pretty much.
powerful
Like,
thing.
yeah, exactly. And so that's also a very dangerous thing, not for just
Mm,
for the streamer, but for the like viewer as well. Like
yeah.
some people take advantage of people who are susceptible to parasocial relationships and stuff. It's like,
Yeah.
again, I'm not here to judge anybody's like, things they've got going on in their life and stuff like that. People cling to people for various reasons. There's all there's all sorts of reasons why people get sort of into parasocial relationships. But
Yeah, but
like,
how
yeah,
did that make you feel? You're this
that one,
person out here.
yeah, no, absolutely right. That one made me a little bit uncomfortable because I
Yeah.
was just like, oh, like no, like your own, like this is how you're viewing me. Like no, 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 I need to put up this barrier. Like no, I'm in a relationship with my wife. Like this isn't,
Mhm.
like Twitch isn't a dating site. Like I'm not here for that.
I'm just gonna get that
Like
tattooed on my forehead. Or my Yeah, no, it's
um
not.
no, like, yeah, like yes, some people do meet through that site, but that's because
Yeah.
they're building a friendship and they're building a positive, like parasocial relationship that turns into a more I don't want to say real relationship, but like real relationship,
Yeah.
right? Um, but yeah, that one definitely, it made me a little bit uncomfortable. And but yeah, it wasn't the first time I've had to deal with. The first time I had
Wasn't
to
the
deal with,
first
like,
time.
I just sort of like did not. uh
What happened?
Oh no, it was just like it was pretty much the exact same message, but like I was just like very taken aback by it, and I was like, "Oh no, this is
Mm.
very uncomfortable." I just sort of like blocked the person and then didn't
Yeah.
engage them at all. I was just like, "No, no, 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 no. Like this is no."
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think it's important to sort of take a stance, and like that stance is going to be different for everybody. But like
Mhm.
take a stance and be like, "These are my boundaries.
Yeah.
This isn't acceptable, or this is acceptable, depending on where you stand," and all that. Yeah. But yeah, it made me uncomfortable.
How often have you received messages like that?
not not too often, honestly. Like sort of there was a noticeable uptick when I came out as bi.
Oh.
Um yeah, because up until that point, like I was just another straight white guy on the internet, right? We're a dime a dozen. Um
Mhm.
and so when and then I say that, and so that post, that sort of me coming out, got a lot more eyeballs than just sort of my community.
Mhm.
And so it reaches other parts of the internet that aren't as familiar with me. And that's where some of that kind of comes
Yeah.
from. But yeah, there was definitely a noticeable uptick when I came out, which is weird.
Yes. Yes, it is, because really that's none of anyone's business because,
It does,
again,
it literally doesn't change anything about me. It's
no?
just like who I've always been. It's just like that was a realization that I had about myself. It did not
Yeah.
change anything.
Mm. again, you've just taken that and you've turned it into I guess a more cementing uh
Mm,
experience for yourself that you're like, I these two things can exist and it
yeah.
doesn't change anything for you, which is,
No.
I think, something that comes with experience. Like someone, I don't know, maybe someone new in the community, if they like straight away, like they'll tell you everything. They're like, I'm bi, poly, ADHD,
Yep.
ADHD, whatever, and you know everything about them.
Mm.
Whereas I
Well,
feel
I think.
like, mm,
Sorry, I was gonna say, like, I think I was definitely like that at the start. I think most people
yeah,
do. Like, you don't really understand how much information you're sharing out there.
okay, yeah,
Like, you just like you're like in your head, you're just talking with friends and you're just chatting and you're revealing just an awful lot of information about yourself, and sometimes you're even trauma dumping and all that sort of stuff, and you don't
oops,
even realize it, like all that like I've
yeah.
definitely trauma dumped on stream before, um
But you
because
owned it, and you
I'll
know you.
I own it. Well, I think a story's really funny, and then Chad will come
Yeah,
back and be
yeah.
like, Elliot, that's really
That
traumatic.
was.
Like, don't know.
You okay? Are you
It is. It's just like, are you okay, Elliot? Are you all right? Like, you need a hug. And I'm like, this was 10 years ago. It's fine. It's funny.
It's funny now.
It's funny
Af
now.
after the $1,000 I put into therapy, it's fine. Um, I okay, so obviously you have a really supportive community, which is awesome. You cultivate that over time. Like, obviously,
Yep.
you know, you've had your ups and downs with that, like everyone does, but it's really awesome to see that, and you could see that, you know, in the replies and in the, support that you get from your community. So, well done for continuing that because last year was quite I dare say probably your most controversial year as a creator.
Yeah, I
Um,
didn't think that was gonna. Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
What? And I look, the when I know that you had the very best intentions. You've been a loud voice for large companies to take us as Australian ANZ creators seriously, and I love that for you. So thank you so much for doing that. But when you feel like you're being given an opportunity, and then when you're in that, it's all of a sudden just not what you thought it was
Mm.
going to be, that is a massive kick in the face. Tell us about that experience, Elliot,
So that
if you
one,
want to.
that one. I mean, for context for anyone who's listening, I got
Mm,
to talk with the CEO of Twitch about where ANZ fits in sort of Twitch's larger portfolio, right? What are they doing with this region? Because 2024 they laid off a whole bunch of staff, they cut
yeah,
various programs, like and they kind of went radio silent for the better part of like half a year. Um, and so during I think it was TwitchCon Europe, I put like
mm,
I was watching the sort of opening ceremony of that, and I'm showing and I'm watching them highlight all of these amazing European creators and really getting behind that sort of community and really pushing them to the forefront. And I was just like, man, that makes me really sad. Like, not for these people, but like for us a little bit, because like
yeah,
we're not going to be afforded that same level of being accepted into Twitch's community, because they just don't do that here, and they
yeah,
probably won't do that here. They're not going to run a TwitchCon here. It won't. They won't. It's not realistically, it's not feasible for them to do that. So that's why we
no,
ask them to be at like things like PAX and stuff like that.
yeah,
Um, and so I like with that, I was just like, hey, I would love to have. I just put out a tweet. I'm just like, hey, Dan Clancy, if you ever want to
yeah,
have an open chat about about ANZ and all this sort of stuff. And one of the wonderful streamers from Australia, Pinapi,
yeah,
she was over in Europe at the time, and she bumped into him and she showed him this tweet and was like, hey, like this is a really like you should talk with Elliot. Like he's a good
yeah,
person in the community, all that sort of stuff. So some back and forth when happened. He followed me on Twitter and we started, and then sure enough, like I think 2-3 months down the track. Just that's just time. you know,
Yeah.
these things take time.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, so it was originally just going to be me talking to him, but then they were like, oh, let's bring in some ambassadors and all that sort of stuff. So they brought in more people to have a more rounded chat, which I
Round
think was
table, yeah.
more great thing. But it really was the sort of first communication that Twitch had with the ANZ audience that entire year. They hadn't really done anything to communicate what was happening, what was going on. And yeah, it it got mixed results.
It certainly did. I think hold on. Being introduced as the person who bitches by the CEO wasn't on my bingo card. You're
Yeah,
damn
that really
right.
wasn't. Yeah.
You,
That one, yeah, that took me by surprise. And it kind of set the tone, I think, for where how Twitch sort of view criticism. I think unfortunately it's just like if you're critical of them, they're not interested. It's like, I genuinely I just want what's best for streamers in this region. And I don't think that they were having that heart. And I get that they're a business and they're going to have their priorities, but there does need to be a bit of an overlap. And when you axe all of these programs and you don't really put out a timeline of like what you guys are going to do here, like that reduces confidence in streamers of this region, and that makes them less enthusiastic. That makes them not want to, the Twitch's thing is like bleed purple. That makes them not want to do that because we can't be involved. Now, fortunately, we're seeing some changes to that, but it's a slow burn.
It is. But I mean, we are very far away, but the internet is instant. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to say, like, his response to you was just very political and very boomer. I'm like just seeing this. So, like, obviously, like a day later, please don't give Elliot a hard time. It was a group conversation, and I was joking around with him at the start because apparently that's what you do. Because that's how men talk, right? I was not put off at all. Well, okay, he didn't say that, but okay. Thought it was a great conversation. Good for you. And please educate me on the term used, because he used the word. I'm not going to say it, but it was.
Yeah, he used the incorrect word for Aboriginals,
a previous word that we used to use for our First Nations people. Which is you can find like books and stuff like that about it. But like, if you are the CEO, if you were earning what is he millionaire? I don't know.
I genuinely have no idea how much he makes.
It is your job to, I don't know, maybe learn some other languages of the places where your services are used and making you lots and lots of money. And the different cultures, like learn about the history of those countries. Like, maybe, I saw him walking around PAX looking like bloody Crocodile Dundee. Like, what?
Oh, that's just how he dresses. Like that wasn't
really?
He didn't do that for us. That's just how he dresses. Like he's always rocking a button up and he's got his cowboy hat. Like that's just how he is. I will say, like with the incorrect usage and sort of that, I did refer him because he reached out and he was just like, oh, I'm so sorry about that. Like I really didn't, because I was just like, I didn't pick it up. There was a lot of stuff going on.
Oh, there was a lot going on.
While we were doing that. So I did feel some regret about like not. I think I tweeted about that as well. I tweeted about a lot of stuff.
But you know what? It's not up to you. That was his job. He was the person in power there. You might not have. You might have been like, I mean, obviously you organized it or brought it together or whatever. But it was a round table, and like he's the one in power there, not you.
But he did reach out and he was just like, I'm so sorry about that. What, like, could you give me a little bit more information? So I gave him like what I was able to do, and then I did refer him to some other creators in the space who were Aboriginal.
Good job.
And was like, hey, if you want to learn a little bit more, try contacting these people. They're really wonderful resources within the space. Like they will be of benefit to you. So like, that was a conversation that happened after that, which was, I mean, to I to his credit, like not everyone would do that. A lot of people would just be like, "Ah, got it wrong."
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I don't know. I'm very forgiving, almost
You
to a
are.
fault.
You are. Um, but I think overall from like obviously just the two experiences that I've mentioned, you can see as a whole, first of all, you have always been an advocate for people from minority backgrounds in the space this whole time. You've realized like I'm a white bald guy with a microphone. I probably should like, tell people that I'm on their side.
Well, I mean, like it's good to have a stance about things. Like I get that you
Mm.
know not being chronically online and not having sometimes you don't want to be commenting about every situation because that's
Yeah.
something I've learned over time. Is just like you can have an opinion about every situation in the world, but it's about where your bandwidth lies and
Mm.
like how much you can actually because
I
if
get
you're
it.
affording all of your bandwidth to everything all at once, it's like everything suffers because of that. So if you pick like the few things that you're very very passionate about, not to say that I'm not passionate about those other things going on in the world, it's just
Mm.
but these are things that I can really sort of be impactful on and that sort of thing. And I
Yeah.
think like it's important to not not that I'm going out there trying to be like, oh, I'm a white man role model. Like I'm just like, no, I just want to be a good person and not be
Yeah.
shit on the internet.
Not be shit on the internet.
Yeah.
Um, I I really appreciate that and you being so candid with your experience. I know that these were incredibly like tricky things to navigate, and
Mm.
certainly take a lot of courage. Um,
That
and
that
this is
whole thing
mm,
took like kind of went it didn't go the way I imagined. I imagined it being a platform for Twitch to be like, hey, we're still committed to the region.
yeah,
There's going to be a bit of a slow down time, all this sort of stuff. But they really were just like, oh no, we don't have any money. Like we can't do anything down there, and there's no
yeah.
reason for us to do anything. Like it really was just like a
Oh,
a sort of middle finger
yeah.
to the community here, and like the
And you were just
community weren't
confirming that.
happy about that, and the community were very vocal about that, which turned
Yeah.
into a little backlash against me. But like that's a separate thing.
I'm really you received backlash for someone
Yeah.
else's.
Yeah. Not too much, but I don't go too into it because I try.
Okay.
It's just one of those situations where just like people are more interested in talking about me than to me about something. And I was like, oh, I
Yeah.
don't have time for that high school nonsense.
Yeah. Oh no,
It's
this is
just
not a gossiping session. Of course not. I just think that not enough men do this. That's
oh
all.
yeah, no, I agree.
Like,
I think there needs to be more people out there. There are some really good people out there. I think one person is Logan. I think I forget his username all the time. It's like
yeah.
LH4PD or something like that.
Yeah.
Logan, if I got it wrong, I'm sorry.
You look the same, to be honest.
We do genuinely. There's a lot of bald white men who look very similar and like they're all doing really good things. I have been mistaken for once or twice for somebody
There
else,
you
and I'm just like, no, I'm just another bald white guy, man. Like,
go.
sorry, like you're after the other one.
Hold on, I'll just get him. One sec.
No,
Um,
but like
I
Logan's a really good. He does a lot to uplift
mm,
marginalized communities as well. So like,
yeah.
there's definitely a few out there. I'd love for
Yeah.
there to be more. I'd love for there to be some with hair.
Yeah.
Um, but
Yeah,
yeah, like
exactly. But
there
do
there
do
are
you
there are
see
a handful out there.
yeah, but, like, do you, like did this just come to you, like, you felt that this was such an injustice or there was just something, like, not right, and you took it upon yourself to, like, do action for this? Like, and did you ever think that you would become, I guess, admirable, like a person who's doing something, someone that people look up to, an example or role model?
I think it's just like I like. I've been an angry person in past. I don't like it. I don't like being
Mm,
angry. Like
okay.
it serves me no benefit. It serves the other person no benefit.
Mhm.
And it's just like if you like, and you gain nothing by really like arguing with people online and sort of belittling people and so why not try and help people? Like it's just I feel like it's the right thing to do. Like
Just
I
be a
don't
good
know how
human.
else to explain that. Like
Yeah.
it's just
But
like
there
it
are some
feels like the
people
right thing to do.
no, but some people actually don't understand because they're so in it for their own
Mm.
self-interests. Like, they're so worried about themselves. Um, I'm gonna mention another tweet from 2021. Hot take, and hear me out. Female streamers aren't the problem. And there was a couple of guys that were like, "What problem? Is there a problem?" I what
I
what
love those guys so much. The ones that they're just like, no, there's nothing. What are you talking about? There's not. It's like my guy. Come on, like it's the same people who are just like, oh, women have it easier on stream because they got
Oh,
good looks and it's all
please.
the like all that. I'm like, my guy, just make your bed and take your dishes out to the kitchen and you'll be fine, right? Like your content isn't like your content isn't deemed good or bad based on the
Gender.
framing of your camera and that sort of stuff. It's the content you produce. It's the stuff that you produce. And if you're
Mhm,
just sitting there yelling at a game and not being entertaining and not producing something that people want to watch, people
mhm.
aren't gonna watch it. Like it's like
Yeah,
the basics are real simple there.
yeah. But I guess you can't see the forest amongst the trees if all your algorithm is showing you is, hot tub streamers. You're like, "Oh, these girls have it easy," with, like, their
Yeah.
thousands of, viewers and things like that. Whereas, I think there's only one woman in the top
Mm,
10, Twitch earners.
yeah.
And, I think Pokimane actually was on a podcast recently, and she talked about it as well. Like, it used to like, back in the day, it was a lot easier, but now it's not, like, and a lot of top creators can just come, like, overnight and
Mm,
take over that.
yeah. My response to like the people who are always like, oh, like the top tub streamers like have like hundreds of viewers and I don't. I was like, do you want the viewers of hot tub streamers? Like
I don't think
is
any of
that
them.
like genuinely like is that who you're after? Like you want
Yeah.
those viewers? Like they're not
Some
there.
guys with their pants off
They're not
watching
there
it.
for that. Like they're there for something else.
Mm,
Um
yeah,
and
definitely.
I'm always amazed at that. But like yeah, I watch like most of the streamers I watch are female these days because they just no offense, but like they just make better content.
Oh,
They're more
okay. I didn't
entertaining.
say it. I
That's
didn't say
my hot take. That's my hot take. Is it's like female streamers are
That's your
just
confession,
they
everyone.
like they make better stuff. It's got nothing to do with looks. It's just like they're funny and they're just like they're funny and intelligent and they have good a sort of discourse about like conversations and stuff like that. I'm
Mm.
not walking in and they're not talking about cryptocurrency or trying to sell me shit. Sorry, I probably shouldn't swear.
It's not they get no, that's fine. We're not monetized yet, so it's fine.
Oh yeah, so no, that's fine. No, you'll be there soon. We'll get there.
It's
We'll
just
get you there.
there's many things. There's many
Yep.
things
No, I
that I'm
get
not
it. I'm
doing that
not.
I could do because I have a real life, but I
That's a
digress.
real struggle, honestly.
It
Like,
is.
yeah.
Yeah.
When I
But,
used to work at a bakery and sort of the
yeah.
struggle between like that and then
You
having
start
a
work at 3
stream life
AM.
and then having like a social life as well. It's just
Yeah.
like it's that triangle where you can have two, but you can't have all three. So you've got to
Oh,
find
yes,
that
that's
like
right.
nice balance. And it's like it's such a hard balance to do. And then like, people who have kids, like
Mhm.
that's like a fixture. It's like don't let that one go.
No,
Like
that's
don't let
it's
that.
one I don't know how many times because I live in WA, and my time that I start the podcast, it might be 8 PM. I try and make it 8 o'clock for, like, everyone else, but for me, it's either 5 or 6, And
Mm.
that's, prime kid time. So the kids either have their dinner really early or like right on time. And usually they're eating their dinner during the podcast, but sometimes they finish. Like last night I was filming the podcast and like straight away. And I was like, I had to mute my microphone. And I was like, just 5 minutes, babe. Just 5 minutes. I'll be there. Look, obviously they're old
Mm.
enough. They're not like little babies and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Like I'm a good parent. Okay, please don't arrest me. But you can hear them. But yeah, like it does, and it means that I can't. I'm tired. Like
Yeah.
see some WA streamers, and they stream at like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Babe, I'm in bed. I really am. Like there's a couple. Like
Honestly, yeah.
I have stayed up for like different one-off kind of things.
Yeah.
Like and that's been fine, but to kind of keep that schedule, 3 times a week or every day for some people who do have full-time jobs or part-time jobs or whatever, kids, plus, keeping your mental health well, your physical health well, the house clean, all that kind of stuff. It's just I'm a real person and I don't live,
It's a
you
lot.
know, in a yeah, look, all the more power to you if you live with your parents or with other people that pick up that slack for you on your streaming nights or whatever. That totally more power to you, but that's just not me, and it just means that everything that I do is going to be slower.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
I
that's
guess
the
it's okay.
struggles that we all face. Like we all face like
Yeah.
different struggles in that, and it's just finding what bandwidth we can afford to this
Yeah.
sort of. For a lot of us, it's a hobby or a passion or like
Yeah.
and it's just about affording how much bandwidth we have, and if we don't have that, then we don't have it.
Mhm.
Like, and you don't want
For
to
sure.
force it either, because otherwise people know when you're forcing it. Like they can see.
If you're forcing it, you probably shouldn't, and that's with all
Mm.
things.
Yeah.
Elliot, is there anything that you would like to let the listeners know? Any advice you'd like to impart on them
Just be
about their journey?
Just be a good person and learn some stuff.
Okay. Not from Andrew Tate though, maybe.
Not from Andrew Tate. Be a little bit more woke in your life.
Okay. I don't even know where that came from. What's wrong with being awake? I don't understand. It's the reason
It's
why.
a whole thing.
Look, I was talking to someone this morning actually about Acolyte being cancelled because it was too woke, apparently, for all the old Star Wars guys. And I was like,
they're always, if anything has a person of color in it, if anything has a queer person in it, apparently it's just too woke, and it's just like, come on, really? Like that's the
Yeah.
bubble you want to be in? All right.
heck, I noticed it. I'm living this, right? So I grew up where it was like only men and women could marry, and now my children, they're growing up and they're like, you can publicly chain
Yeah.
yourself, legally chain yourself to someone else. It doesn't matter, what they identify as. And like that is like a journey in itself. And when I see it represented in like for reality shows, for example, like I've been watching The Amazing Race with my 8-year-old. I know that's kind of wild, but like I wanted to see other cultures. I live in a small town, so just anyway. So we're watching that, and yeah, like there's girlfriends, there's married couples that are same sex, and it's just like it's.
Yeah.
I don't think it's woke. It's just life now.
No, it's just I saw this interest. I forget who said it. It was a tweet, so I forget who. But like they were just like people are accusing like the games industry specifically of being too woke. But it's like 10, 20 years ago, you weren't including these demographics, and you told young budding like creators, oh, don't like it, go make games yourself. That's what they've done. Right? So it's just like
we're not
they've gone
making
out
that
there.
you can.
Yeah, like they've gone out, they've made games that they feel a part of and that speak to their experiences, and that doesn't speak to the straight white man demographic, right?
Yeah.
And that's now suddenly a problem. And it's like, okay, you guys want that? Go out there and make some games. We'll see you in 10, 20 years. And then we'll have a nice round. There'll be games for straight white men, and there will be
Mhm.
games for people, who want to
Everyone
be
else.
included and want to be involved. Like there's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with including other people. It's I don't know.
Oh, we could talk about gatekeeping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could talk
That
about anything for hours.
Elliot, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on Confessions of a Gamer Boy. Uh, it's been a time. So
Thank you so
tell
much for
everyone.
having me.
No, you're so welcome. Tell everyone where they can find you on the internet.
You can find me everywhere at 8-Bit Elliot. That's 8BITELLIOTT. And yeah, you can see me being a little guy on the internet. I'm streaming 3 days a week on over on Twitch, and just make little funny little skits every now and then on social media. So yeah,
Yes, his wokeness is a skit.
that's it. Yeah, it's all performative.
All right. Thank you to our listeners and our watchers all across the internet. And we will see you next time for another episode of Confessions of a Gamer Boy. Bye, everyone.
Bye.